Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft Amplified server. Check it out behind me, I've redone the storage area. You would be surprised at just how long this actually took me to do. It was about a solid hour sitting down, putting all the items in chests and reorganising them. And I realised that in 1.8 there are just so many items, when you try and put them into a small amount of chests it really does become a little bit problematic. You end up with chests like this which have glass, eggs, flint and rotted flesh, and that makes no sense whatsoever, but that's because we're kind of condensing everything down. So it took a little bit of time to do, and it really made me appreciate the storage system we had on the last season. We had that big semicircle, or I guess you could say semi-square because it's Minecraft, of chests, and they all had their own item frames, and it was really easy to locate where the items were and to grab them, which is really cool. And I think when we move out and build ourselves a proper storage area in the future, we're going to have to follow that principle once again. But that's done. We're not going to talk about it for too long. Although I will mention that yes, we're using less item frames and I've started using signs. Do you know what? I really wish these item frames would just lag less because they are just so awesome. They're the perfect thing for displaying what's inside a chest really, and these signs are pretty ugly in comparison. But it doesn't matter. Today what we're going to do is do a few little things and then work on an important project, which I'm actually going to talk about while we walk around and do these other things. So last season our nether hub was not very good, was it? I actually got a comment recently that made me decide, right, we're going to do this episode. We're going to work on the nether hub, because this person said the nether hub last season was a disgrace, and it made me laugh. I thought, yep, this is only a game, it's not really a disgrace, but within the context of Minecraft, it kind of was a disgrace. We had, no kind of system that made any sense. There were just portals going all over the place. And we did build one half of the nether hub, but we never finished the other half, and we can't let that happen again this season. So I've been spending a lot of time thinking about how this is going to work, and today we are going to work on the nether hub and come up with a reasonable system to make things work. So anyway, what I want to do right now is just go over a couple of things you guys have been suggesting based on our previous episode. This stone patch right here, we can put some stone buttons on this, and I think that looks really cool. We don't want to overdo it, but it does add just a little bit more detail. I'm just going to put a couple on this one, and then when I walk around, I'm going to look at it and see what I think about that, because it does kind of pop out a little bit. I thought it would look a little bit better in my head, but it does add a little more detail. I'm not sure if I actually like that. Let me know what you think. I am going to definitely take my time and just walk past it and let it and do its thing. Anyway, right, and then around here I asked for some suggestions for something else that we could put in here, something that would bring a little bit of colour, and hay bales was the suggestion. So what we're going to do back here is just put in a few like this. That's not the way I wanted to do it. I want that one on its side. So that one facing up, two on the side, and I'd like the next one to be on its side as well, actually. So let's put it in like that, and let's take that back with our Silk Touch axe, and then just go over here to the side. Kind of looks alright, maybe one or two more in the background just on their own. Let's put one right there and another one there, and then let's see how it looks. Yeah, a little bit better. I don't know about the placement too much. I think when the vines grow over it, it might look pretty cool. But there you go, that's just a little bit of yellow in there, a little bit of red as well, and obviously hay is what you use to breed the cows, so I think that's actually quite fitting. And now what we're going to do is head over to our water path. We've got another little change based on your suggestions to make over there. But we're also going to turn around and have a look at the Hermit Hill sign. I have made a modification to it. Check this out. This is what you guys wanted. The E with the 3. Did I just hear I thought I heard a creeper hiss. That was kind of worrying. Of course they will now blow up because we finally fixed the issue with Enderman picking up blocks. But yes, that looks ever so cool, I think. And when we did that by mistake, so many people wanted us to keep it. And I think the reason why it was so popular is because the 3 kind of says like season 3, doesn't it? And so for that reason, I decided to change it back to the 3. And I might not keep it like that. I'll just see how the other hermits like it and how it goes down. And also I made the L's a little bit smaller. That was another frequent comment that I got saying that the L's were a little too big. So now I think it looks pretty damn cool. And as if it didn't already, we can now move on to the next thing. If we go around the corner here and take a look at the path that we have. You guys have been leaving some suggestions about this. One of them was to do with the jack-o'-lanterns, because we can see them on the side here, and a few of you suggested putting white carpets on top of them, but actually I quite like that you can see the jack-o'-lanterns when you turn around and look at it. And I also thought, I didn't even think about the dirt that was behind there. You can see the dirt, and that's not too good, so maybe we'll make modifications, but honestly I think it's pretty cool. and it's fine how it is. So the feedback on this thing right here is first of all that it's not lit up, which is something I just did not consider in the slightest. You know, there's no light on there, mobs will be able to spawn, and so I think what we might need is the occasional glowstone block or some way of discreetly putting light on there, which we're not going to focus on this episode. The main feedback was to do with the lily pads. Many of you just thought that there were way too many of them and it didn't look right. So what we've got over here is some blue stained glass. Now when I was thinking about all of the blue blocks in the game, for some reason this didn't come to mind, but it's kind of perfect because it's transparent and it will be able to reduce the amount of lily pads. So what we're just going to do is put 1 or 2 here. That doesn't look too bad at all, actually. I quite like that. Yeah, I think that's going to work quite well, actually. So I'll go through here, and what I'm going to do is just reduce the amount of lily pads overall, try and remove the clusters of them, and then we'll come and take a look at it in a second. Okay, we've removed 22 lily pads in total. It does look a fair bit better, and I'm thinking that the most discreet block here is pretty much the glass. You kind of get a little bit of animated texture because of the water flowing, and it's very close colour to the water as well, and it works ever so well. There's now less lily pads, and it's a little bit nicer, I think. Still think it needs some more work, definitely needs some lighting, but that is a huge improvement, and it was also making me wonder if just having a glass path by itself across the water wouldn't look half bad, you know, considering it blends in so well. But that's some, oh dear, some thoughts for another day. Let's see how many slimes are over here. That's not too bad at all. These are free to take, by the way, which is really cool. Oh, the other day I had a fantastic idea for something you could do with slime blocks. It just hit me like a eureka moment, and I've been talking to Tango Tech as well. He's got this idea for a group project, like a big group project we could do over time. And my little slime block idea is perfect for it, but it might be some time before we get to do that. And now I'm talking about something you guys are going to be scratching your head thinking, what is he going on about? You'll find out in the future, don't worry. Anyway, we're now going to move over to the nether hub. I don't think there was anything else that I wanted to do around this area. They were just a couple of tweaks that you guys have been talking about. So we're going to head into the nether. I'm going to talk a little bit about the logistics of making this nether portal. Nether portal? Nether hub, that's the one. Before we pop through to the other side, there's something that I wanted to mention. There's going to be a portal over there in Slipgator's base. This is something we discussed a little bit as a group. There's also going to be a portal on the other side of the communal area. So wherever you want to go, there's 3 portals to choose from, and that makes it kind of convenient. You know, if you're Monkey Farm and you want to get over to your base, you're going to use Slipgator's portal rather than this one, which makes a lot of sense. But it also means we've got to consider there'll be 3 portals close together in the nether, and it's got me thinking, you know, this nether hub is probably going to be a little bit different from what you expect. The reason why is because we're all going to be building quite close to each other this season. We've all kind of agreed that we want to stick around the Hermit Hills area, we don't want to spread out too far, and it's been making me think about how that's going to affect the nether hub. Now usually what you have is some grandiose building with a whole bunch of stations to choose from. You know, you get in your minecart, you go down a tunnel and go to another portal, but because we're so localized, it feels like if we try and do that, we're always going to have portals sort of popping up in the middle of the building area of that big grandiose build. So what we're actually going to do this season is something a little different, and I don't really have a design or anything in mind as of just yet. So anyway, let's pop out here. Exactly what I was expecting. To be harassed by a ghast. There we go. Okay, let's see if it dropped a ghast tier. Yay! I like it when you get a ghast tier. So we have our portal right here, and we're going to have, you know, another couple of portals around here as well. Then we've got Biffa's base is just over here, I think, somewhere around here. This looks like it. There you go. And then up there you've got the end portal and the spawn chunk somewhere around there as well, and it's all quite close to this thing right here. And also we got a load of portals already up there in the ceiling. So if we were to bring them down here, they would actually be quite close to this area. So any type of big build, you know, big grandiose hub that we try and put in this place, I think isn't really going to work because the other portals are just going to be right in the middle of that area. So what I've been thinking we need to do is perhaps build a bit more of a dynamic design. Something that's kind of expandable over time and basically follows a principle or an aesthetic. So we'll look at having corridors and hallways and just a general build theme that we can expand. As someone puts down a portal, it's nearby the rest of our nether hub and they can just kind of extend it over there. And I kind of feel like that was a terrible explanation. Yeah, it really was. Anyway, one thing we don't want to do this season as well is use the area up there too much, because in 1.8 they've also changed the way portals synchronize. So now the Y value comes into play a lot. So if you have a portal all the way up there like we do to have to get to our quad slime chunk, and the portal for the slime chunk is all the way down in the ground, then it works one way, but when you try and come back, it finds this one instead. So for that reason, having the portals around this height right here, we are at Y66, should just make it a little bit easier overall to make sure all of those portals sync up together. Now occasionally you might need to go up high or might need to go down low, and that'll be fine. Let's see if we get another ghast here. And yay, we did. That's awesome. I like getting those. And yeah, so the occasional sorry, what am I trying to say? Occasionally you might want to go a long way away, you know, have a portal over in the mesa. For that reason, going up into the ceiling is a good idea. So keeping this path to the ceiling is definitely something we want to do. However, what I'd like to do right now, and by the way, we've played in the nether for the longest time without ghast breaking blocks, and now you can see they're starting to leave fire everywhere and break things up. But what we're actually going to do right now is kind of build a shell for our hub. We're going to put down lots and lots of half slabs. We're going to bring all of the portals down to this level right here and start connecting things up. So I've got a ton of cobblestone right here. That's so we can build a big framework around the portals, and then we can start to do the aesthetics at a later time on the inside. So I'm hoping that made sense. I think it's going to make a lot more sense when I actually build it and show you it in a practical sense. So what I'm going to do right now is take a long time building this big frame, moving all the portals down from the ceiling, syncing everything up. It is going to be a little bit crazy, and it all makes sense once I've done it. So I'll be back with you when that's done. This project is going to take a long time. As I'm synchronizing up these portals and trying to get things to work, it's taking me up here to the ceiling where we started, you know, building tunnels and stuff, which is kind of bad if you want to have a proper nether hub, but I'm sure it will get sorted out in time. Anyway, this is False's Christmas base. I have yet to actually watch her video. It's on my playlist of ones to watch, and as we know, False is a wonderful builder, so I'm pretty sure whatever she's doing over here is going to be pretty spectacular. In fact, I saw the video where she accidentally burnt down this building, possibly. It looks like it might have been this building, but this is real nice, and I just wanted to quickly, you know, take a break from doing that and check this out. So lovely interiors as always. Really like the use of the leaves. That looks like that kind of tinsel decoration, if you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to represent. And this certainly is cool. I do like this. Stockings, yep, above the fire. I do like that. That's a nice touch. Oh, this is so cool. This really is. False is such a great builder. I'm so glad she's here on the server. Me and her have known each other. Me and her? Yeah, that's right. We've known each other for a long time. There she is. We used to play on GeoMine together. In fact, me and False actually were playing Minecraft together before I even made YouTube videos, which is a fun little fact for you. Oh my god, this place is amazing. It just dawned on me how wonderful these candy canes look. And this is spectacular. What a fun project. Oh my god, it really does look amazing, doesn't it? Oh, I love the candy canes. They are ever so cool. I've seen a few people do this before in Minecraft, but that looks awesome right there. And there's a tunnel going over here. Where does this go? To the Christmas market. This looks like quite a big project she's doing. This is a nice little hallway here as well. And it looks like she's just started this. Very cool stuff. I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking around here for myself. If you want to check this out, see what she's been doing, go over and check out her channel. Well, look at that. That speaks for itself. That is an amazing ice bridge. I've never seen something so cool. Ah, this is great. This is great. She's such a good builder. And I love this. False has just got that kind of imagination. She can picture something and then build it straight away. I would have never thought of doing something like this. How cool is this? This is just, yeah, I'm lost for words a little bit. What a wonderful little ice bridge. What a cool idea. Anyway, I'm going to spend some time looking around and, yeah, check out FalseSymmetry. There'll be a link to her channel down there in the description box. I've been trucking along for a couple of hours now, and we are making loads and loads of progress. We're getting near the end of this, and don't worry, I'm going to show you everything that we've done in a moment. But for right now, I found something which is a great example of exactly why we are doing this project. So as I mentioned, in 1.8, the portals are going to take the Y value into consideration. That is the height. You can see we're at Y62. And in previous versions of the game, this didn't matter at all. So now that we have all these portals up on the ceiling, the game is getting a little bit confused because it's taking their height into consideration. And what we've ended up with is a portal circle, of all things. I've never seen this before. But if we go through here, we're going to go to the spawn chunks. This is where Tango is working on an epic project. I'm not going to turn around and reveal it, but behind me, out here in the sky of the spawn chunks, there's something very epic going on. Anyway, let's go back through. You'd expect us to go to the same portal in the nether, right? Well, actually, no surprise, we end up here in the ceiling of the nether. You can see we are up at Y110. When we go back through here, we actually come out at a completely different portal. It's a little bit bizarre, but we are at the spawn... Why did I think spawn? We're at the end portal, there it is. And then when we go back through here, we're going to end up at the one we started at, which is crazy. It's a portal circle, and obviously that's no good. So as we move all of these portals down to this level, it will fix problems like that. The big reveal, I know, it's not much to look at, it's pretty ugly in here, but this is not about aesthetics at all. This is all about function. Aesthetics will come later on down the line. So we now have all of the portals down at Y64, and this means that they're synchronizing with the ones in the overworld so much better. For example, the quad slime chunk one down there, that's working a charm. Before that was really difficult to get to synchronize up. In fact, I couldn't actually get it to synchronize up. So there you go. And by having them at this height right here, things are going to be a lot smoother when adding all of the portals together. And as I said, this is about function. We now have a safe way of getting from one portal to the next. You know, this is all half slabs, so it's nice and safe in here. But what this is doing is it's acting as a shell for what we could do with our nether hub. Now, I've made it so we've got space in the ceiling and on the floor as well, so you can put down some blocks and do a design or whatever is going to happen in here, and also on the walls as well. That's why it's big and open in this area, so there's plenty of room to do that. However, now that we can kind of see where the portals are from one to the other, you know, you can actually see them rather than being stuck up in the ceiling somewhere. You can kind of see that perhaps there is space for a big grandiose nether hub type deal. And the day that you're watching this video is the day that we have our next meeting. So what we're going to bring up obviously will be this place, and hopefully we'll be able to figure out what it is we want to do. We might have a bunch of corridors that connect from one portal to the other, or we might do something a little bigger. And at the moment I have no idea, but I'm glad that we did this. So down there we have the one that goes to Slipgater's end of Hermit Hills. This one is the middle. This one here is the other end. I added a new portal over there. So why don't we actually just hop through and have a quick look at where that is. You can see it's kind of over to the side a little bit. And when we go through, you'll see... Oh, we're inside a pigman. Hello. Yes, we're down the end here. So the other portals are over to the right a bit more. What we could do is possibly all have them in a line and just move that portal over that way a little bit. Maybe somewhere up there would be a good idea. Actually, that would probably be quite cool, because there is something up there. I still don't know whose that is up there. I did think it was Topmass at first, but I think it might be XP's little project. But if you know, let me know in the comments, because I would like to know. I guess I could just ask the other guys at the meeting. Anyway, right, so down here we have Biffa's portal. Behind it we have the spawn chunks in the Iron Titan, and then behind that we have the end portal. So now you get to all of them through this thing, which is pretty cool. But at the moment, none of these are signposted, and I actually had a little bit of a spontaneous idea while I was in here, something that I hadn't planned for that I thought would be really, really cool. And what I want to do is get some coloured banners and put a different colour on each portal, and then over here at the main one we'll have like a wall that will have all of them and then the names signposted underneath. And it's probably not going to be the most visible of things from a distance, but I thought it would be a pretty cool way to do it now, and that would be a temporary thing as well. Obviously, as more portals join this network, you're going to have more than 16 at one point. So this kind of looks cool, and it kind of doesn't. I don't know. Looks alright. I was thinking maybe what we could do is actually put a load more of these on the portal so you cover up all of the obsidian, and put them on the side as well, because the ones down... Well, actually, that's quite visible, and so is that as well. When I was over there placing it, I was thinking maybe you won't be able to see it. And on the side, it looks pretty cool, actually. You can clearly see the yellow. We can see the green, the brown. Actually, it just came into render right there. Look. Doesn't render, does render. Doesn't, does. So you can kind of see, because it's off in the distance, maybe you wouldn't see it's brown. And then the one behind that we can barely see. But anyway, I have labelled these. A couple of these are a little bit humorous. This one right here, Biffa's not a bowl portal. I don't know what Biffa's actual base is. I know he's doing the museum, so I thought I'd call it not a bowl, because if you remember the first season of Hermitcraft, Biffa's bowl was really just an adventurous place full of loads of things. Lots of pranks happened there, and it was really a really fun memory. Yes, and then the end portal, so a little bit of humour, not really, I don't know. Anyway, what I'd like to do now is actually just try plastering one of these things with banners to see what it looks like, because what I have planned next for the episode is actually to go off the server, to go onto my creative server and do a little bit of building, some ideas for the interiors of the Nether Hub, because I have been really inspired by BTC's build on the Minecraft server recently. I just thought the way he approached it with a continual theme that you copy throughout the building was really, really cool, and I thought something like that might work in the Nether Hub, but I didn't want to do the exact same thing. So my plan is to go into Creative World, show you what he built, and then see if we can come up with something ourselves. However, I am really, really pressed for time. I'm going to a gig tonight, so I might not have too much time to do this. I think we made one with red wool. This is probably not going to be enough to plaster the thing. We could also perhaps get a few more from the sheep. I see one red sheep, we'll leave it. We'll just take these 6 for now and plaster them on one portal. So that's what it looks like when it's plastered, and it's not too bad, but actually maybe having something to break it up isn't a bad thing either. And then when you have it on the sides as well, what's that going to look like? Let's do it on this side over here. Oh, there's one over there. I'm doing this terribly. We needed a lot more of these. I needed to be more prepared, and it went through. And there's a stair missing. That's interesting. I'll get that one that went through, and not too sure about that. Here's another thing as well. If you wanted to cover the obsidian at the top, then it's going to hang over the front of the portal a little bit. And these things aren't stacking up when I pick them up, are they? Let's just break them off and see, because I was going to mention something I noticed earlier. So as we pick these up, some of them are stacking and some of them aren't. Well, that's interesting. Look at these 5 right here. These have been freshly made, and notice how they don't have an MBT tag yet? Yeah, when we place them down and break it, it gets an MBT tag. Which kind of makes sense, but then those MBT tags not stacking doesn't. But there you go. Anyway, some strange stuff. Right, I'm going to go through and grab that and fix this back up. I just wanted to have a quick look at what it looked like. I'm now holding all of the red banners, and I've noticed something here. I crafted 5 of these originally. One of them is on the wall down there. We now got 4 in this stack and 6 in the other, which are the ones I crafted separately. So maybe the way you craft them has something to do with the MBT tags being slightly different. I don't know. I don't think it's the most important thing, but I thought I'd mention that as well. There we go. Anyway, this thing is done. We are now on my creative server. We're standing behind a door. We're about to open it and see a recreation of the build that BTC did on the Minecraft server. Now, I had to do this with what little time I had, so it might not be exact, but let's open the door. And wow, look at that right there. I really love how this looks, and I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea. Got to say that straight away. What I actually like about this... That's interesting. It turned itself off and then back on again. Yeah, what I like about this is the flexibility. We've got a very simple palette of things going on here. You know, stone and cyan on the ground. You know, there's not much detail to the walls, but then a few things like these fence posts with torches and the armor stands, which really do give this a very nice look. They just, you know, give so much to the room, and it's so flexible. That's what I really liked, and that's why I was inspired with this Nether Hub, because if we have something like this, for example, you know, you can just rip out any old wall wherever you like and then build a corridor leading up to another portal or something like that. So the flexibility is what I'm interested in here, and what I don't want to do is just take what he's done and rebuild it. I'd like to come up with my own palette of ideas and things that we could do. So if we have a look around the corner here, you can see you could have another portal like this and then walk into it, and whenever you want to build another one, as I just said, you can rip out a wall and build it where it needs to go. And I like that flexibility, and I like the simplicity and the style. You know, it's just, I really do like it. I think it should all make sense. And then I recreated a little bit of a bed, which he'd sort of done on the server as well. And yeah, I just think that this is the way to approach the Nether Hub. Now, obviously, I'm going to talk to the other hermits about what we want to do. But the thing is, this has a lot more flexibility than building a big Nether Hub structure would, because, you know, if you want to build a portal where a wall is, it's kind of like tough luck. You know, you've got to go build it somewhere else. So what I planned on doing next was actually... So you might hear some background noise at the moment, sorry about that. The plan was to come out here and have a look through the building blocks menu, you know, pick out some interesting materials, try and come up with something creative and unique that could be a kind of repetitive build where we have a lot of flexibility, like this thing over here. And unfortunately, I don't have much time because I've got to go to this concert this evening, which I'm really looking forward to as well. So it's not all bad, but it does mean we have to kind of cut the episode a little bit short. So what I thought I would do is actually hand it over to you guys. Us hermits are really active in the G+ community and the Reddit community as well. So if you felt like getting creative, you know, going into a little creative world and building something like this, maybe you want to share it with us and give us some inspiration, and together we can come up with an awesome awesome design that we could use in the nether. So if you want to do that, just go over to those places and post some screenshots. I'll obviously go over there and check it out in a couple of days, and I'm sure some of the other hermits will as well. But that's actually going to wrap things up for this episode. And by the way, this is where we do all of our creative building. You can see some of the things from the series that we've done here so far, for example. But that is it for this episode. As always, if you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.